And welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018. Just going to read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks has a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice. Always for your further homework. Good morning, Sue here. Hope you've had a great weekend and your week is getting off to a good start. Lots going on in the market, so with that, let's get straight into today's video. If you know me, you know I always start my videos off with a look at the Russell Index. I use the Russell as my simple proxy for the markets overall. As long as the Russell Index is moving higher, I'm adding new names to my watch list, and when it's moving lower, I'm being cautious and getting defensive. So we're looking at the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000, and I like to step back and take a look at it on the 5-year monthly time frame to start. I want to get that bigger picture, broader reference point. The only indicator I have on my chart is this blue line, which is the 8-day EMA, and these are my lines of support resistance, so short term, medium term, long term. Ignoring these ones for now and really focusing in on this area here. As you can see on my chart, we lost short term support. The candle for the month of September ended up being red, and here we are so far for the month of October. Very early in the month, not too concerned yet that it's a red candle, but always good to see that reference point. So I'm going to zoom in on this area up here, and I'm going to go to the 1-year weekly. Ideally for me, I like to see price up and over that 8-day EMA on both the daily and weekly chart. So as you can see, we've lost short-term support resistance. We're coming into another area of resistance. Will it hold? Not sure. But with price below the 8-day EMA on both the weekly excuse me, and daily charts, I am not going to put a new chart forward, but I will highlight an old Chart of the Day Cafe pick that should the markets pick up from here and this be an area of support, then it might be worth keeping an eye on. And so here is the chart that I wanted to flag for you in the event that prices do recover in the next couple of days. It is Caterpillar Inc., ticker symbol CAT, trades on the New York Stock Exchange. You know me at Chart of the Day Cafe. I'm all about the fundamentals underneath my charts, and I can tell you that Caterpillar has a really nice high value score, like really high, a current forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 37%. 6%, and it looks as though their earnings are going to be on October 23rd. So as I mentioned earlier, the futures are a little soft, and so we're just reviewing an old chart that, should prices recover in the next couple of days, might be worth keeping an eye on. We are looking at the 5-year monthly chart of Caterpillar. As you can see, it sort of bottomed here in 2016. Then it started this uptrend, caught our blue 8-day EMA, had this lovely run up into this area, made an all-time high here. It's come in and it's been consolidating. I like the look of the monthly candles in this area, and sure enough, after we featured it, it did have this little tick higher. Looks as though in a continued strong market environment, it might want to continue that trend. So I'm watching Caterpillar in this area here. I just wanted you to see the big chart, the firm uptrend through 16, 17, and then some consolidation through 18, but it looks like it might want to lift in this area here. We'll see. So I'm going to move it away from the 5-year monthly to the, sorry, my computer is being really slow these days, to the 1-year weekly. Let's take a look at the 1-year weekly. Whoops, today's week. No, 1-year weekly. Come on. And it was our Chart of the Day Cafe featured chart back here at the beginning of August, green circle. It caught the blue line and lifted from there. It's had a very nice run since our first price point down here at about 140. I like the look of the weekly candles in this area and the strong bar from several weeks ago. So that's the weekly look. Let's take a look at it. But we want to note that price is up and over the 8-day EMA before I switch over. So let's go take a look at it on the daily chart. There's our Chart of the Day Cafe initial day, the takeoff, the parabolic move higher. It's come in to consolidate. Again, I think this area is interesting. It looks like it wants to lift up and over that 8-day EMA again and perhaps resume the uptrend. We'll see. But this is a chart that I think is definitely worth keeping an eye on in the days ahead. Along with the chart I'm looking at, I also like to take a look at the sector that it's in, and for that we're looking at XLI, which is the ETF for the industrial space. Caterpillar is in the industrial goods category. We're looking at the 5-year monthly chart. As you can see, just like Caterpillar, made this low in 2016 and then started this uptrend through 16 and 17, had some consolidation so far in 18, and is coming into this area here where, should it break through, its sky is blue, no overhead resistance. Oops, there's my wheel again. So we'll see what happens. Going to be paying extra close attention to this stock here in this area. But that's the monthly. Let's go take a look at it on the 1-year weekly. And you can see that it's coming into this prior high and kind of thinking about whether it wants to go through or not. So it could go this way, it could go that way, but in a rising, primarily uptrending market, my bias would be that it goes higher. So it's all about what the overall market wants to do, but that is a look at the ETF that Caterpillar is in. That's the weekly. Let's go take a look at it on the daily. Good. Up and over the blue, consolidated for a bit, had some lift yesterday with some volume. Like to see that. Along with that, I also like to spin over to FinBiz and see if I've got analyst support for my pick. And here we are on the Caterpillar page for FinBiz, and as you can see, it's had some recent upgrades. You can go take a look, but like to see that. Also, I like to spin up and see if my pick has seasonal favor. We're looking at the seasonal chart for Caterpillar, and as you can see at this time of year, it does come into that period of seasonal strength. No guarantee that happens again this year, but... And so to today's video with a look at the Russell Index, and we note that overall, normally I have this box checked because we've been in a strong uptrend, but I do not have it checked today because overall the market, the IWM, is trading below the 8-day EMA on both the daily and weekly chart. It lost that short-term area of support. It's coming into an area now that may offer some support, we will see, but that box is not checked, so I am going to be extra cautious. Should prices recover though, we looked at the 5-year chart for Caterpillar and it's in an area of possible price strength and continuation of the uptrend. We looked at the 5-year chart for the sector that it's in, XLI. Could be consolidating here and moving higher into that sky is blue territory, we will see. Caterpillar has an excellent value score, really high value score. These are highlighted for me because they're really critical. It's got an excellent growth score with a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 37%, a current dividend yield of 2.26%. It's coming into an area, this is something I look for. I know everyone has their own way of doing things, but I like to see the 3 EMA cross the 8. It is currently in a squeeze right now, so you can take a look at the chart, but it's got a squeeze. I'm not going to check that box right now, but in the days ahead, should price lift, this will be checked, and that will be my trigger satisfied. It's got seasonal favor. It's got analyst support. We took a look at FinBiz, and we can see that it had a recent upgrade. Also worth noting, it's a Zacks number 2. That should say number 2 buy-rated stock. It's got a current PE of 13.45, and it looks as though their earnings are on a... Thank you for watching today's video. So I'll be keeping an eye on Caterpillar in the days ahead. It'll be interesting to see what the market decides what it wants to do. As a reminder, these videos, I hope you have a great next couple of days. We'll see you Thursday.